Let's talk about the first method under the coefficient. It's called Karl-Pearson coefficient of skewness. Okay. Now, in Karl-Pearson coefficient of skewness are basically based on mean, median and mode. Right, and the other method what we have, that is Bowley's coefficient of skewness, which we studied in the next video, will be based on the quartiles. So there might be one marker question that which of the skewness method is based on mean, median and mode, or which of the skewness method is based on quartiles. So you can easily write Karl-Pearson or Bowley's depending on what is the question. So very simple formula what we have is mean minus mode by standard deviation. So this is what we are going to find out, the Karl-Pearson coefficient of skewness. All of you know very well how to calculate the mean, right? If it might be summation x by n or it is summation fx by n, depending on what data you have. You can use shortcut method, no problem, but here I will go with the direct method directly. I don't want any confusion. You also know how to calculate the mode, right? Which is nothing but L plus f0 minus f1 by 2 f0 minus f1 minus f2 into c for the continuous data, right? For ungrouped and discrete data I have already explained in the mode topic. And also you know how to find out the standard deviation, which is nothing but summation x square by n minus summation x by n whole square, or if it is a group data, summation fx square by n minus summation fx by n the whole square, right? So by using these formulas, any data if they have given, you can easily find out mean, median, mode, substitute the value over here and then find out. I'm not going to teach once again how to find the mean, median, mode and all these things. Directly you have to find out mean, mode and standard deviation, substitute there, and you can easily obtain what is the Karl-Pearson coefficient of skewness. But I hope you remember, while doing the mode, we have studied one condition where mode is undefined. Suppose if the data they have given, let me just write the data over here, class interval and frequency. Okay, so 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and 40 to 50. Let me just write this, and let me just write 10, 12, 15, 15 and 8. So how do we find the mode based on this? Generally you select the highest frequency, right? But here you can see there are two highest frequencies, right? So you cannot select which one you have to select for the mode. You cannot do that. So whenever there is a two highest frequency available in the data, mode is undefined. So in this condition, mode is undefined. Now what do we do? Suppose if this type of data come, how do we find this? We cannot find this, right? So only in the condition where the mode is not defined based on the data, then what you are going to use as 3 into mean minus median by standard deviation. Remember, first formula is this. First you check whether mode is defined or not. Only if the mode is undefined, you are going to use this particular formula where you have to find, instead of mode, median to find the skewness. And for the median, you know very well what type of formula is needed, which is n by 2 minus cf by f into c. Right? So this is how we are going to calculate the Karl-Pearson coefficient of skewness. Right? So pause the video, write down the formula, and then we will see one or two problems based on it. Okay, so let's see one problem based on the Karl-Pearson coefficient of skewness. The problem which is displayed on your screen, it says that calculate the Pearson coefficient of skewness from the following data, and they have given the class interval, and the frequency, right? So whenever, first let's check the frequency. What they have given, 14, class interval, all of you please write down based on the question, 46, 58, 76, 46, 58, 76, 68, 62, 48, 68, 62, 48, 22 and 6, 22 and 6. So you can see this, what is the highest frequency here, which is 76, which means whatever the class they have given, based on that you can easily find out the mode. What do you mean by that? It means the mode is defined here. So it clearly says that when you apply Karl Pearson coefficient of skewness, Karl Pearson coefficient of skewness. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to apply mean, mode and standard deviation. So I'm going to write mean formula over here. What do we need? This summation fx by n. So can we find the x? Yes, the midpoint of the class. So what is the class interval? 300 to 400. So what will be your x? 350, 450, 550, 650, 750, 850, 950, 1050, 1150. Right? If somebody is feeling this number is very big, if you want to use the shortcut method, you are always welcome. You can anytime use the shortcut method. I don't have any problem with it. Mean done. Then what you can do is you can multiply f into x, find out the total, and you are going to find out the mean, and you will be getting from here total. Why I am not doing this? Because already we have solved, already we know how to solve mean, median, mode and everything. So you can easily multiply and you can find out these things. Okay. Next, we need mode. So for mode, what is the formula? L plus f0 minus f1 by 2 f0 minus f1 minus f2 into c. Right. Now what are these f0, f1, f2? Very simple. In the frequency, you select the highest value, that is your f0. One above that f1 and one below that f2, always like that. Okay, so corresponding that, what is your frequency? 600 to 700 you have here, class interval. 600 to 700. Now this is your class you have selected, so this will become your L. And what is the difference over here? 100. So let me just write all the values. L you are getting 600, C you are getting 100, F0 you are getting 76, F1 you are getting 58, and F2 you are getting 68. Can we substitute all the value in this and find out the mode? Yes, very simple. First you have to solve these things and then add with the L things. Once again I'll repeat how did we get all this. In the frequency, select the highest value, that will become your f0, one above that is f1 and one below that is f2. Very simple. Corresponding f0, your class interval will get, take the lower limit and the difference. So based on that you can easily find out the mode. Then comes standard deviation. For standard deviation I am going to use this particular formula, by n minus summation fx by n the whole square. Right? So summation fx already you have from here. Only thing what you need is you have to just square this x, all this 350 square, 450 square, 550 square and so on, and multiply this. That's all. So once you multiply this, you will be getting fx square, which you are going to substitute here, and you know in this part you know. So easily you can find out mean, median and mode. Let me just directly write the answer. Mean you will be getting 715.5, mode you will be getting 669.23, and then the standard deviation you will be getting 190.15. Then what can we do? All the three value can be substitute over here. So let's see what will happen. That is 715.5 minus 669.23 divided by 190.13. So which is nothing but 0.243. Now, once you obtain this particular answer, remember in Karl Pearson coefficient of skewness, your answer will be from -1 to +1. Always in between -1 to +1. It will be never less than -1. It will be never greater than +1. Now, if your answer is this side, negative side, if instead of plus 2 if you would have got negative minus 2 0.23, you can tell it is a negatively skewed. If your answer is this particular side, you can tell this as a positively skewed. That's all. Very simple it is, and it is, if answer is in negative side, negatively skewed. Remember, if your answer you are getting which is greater than 1 or less than minus 1, please check that somewhere you would have made mistake, right? So this is how we will be calculating Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation based on this particular formula where mode is defined. Now let's see one more question which is displayed on your screen. Read out this particular question. So if you read this question, what it says is, you can see the highest frequency, there are two. So let me just write over here. Highest frequency is one is 40 and one more over here is 40. So 2 times 40 is occur 40, which means you cannot calculate mode for this particular data. So since we cannot calculate mode for this data, what are we going to do? We are going to apply the formula that is 3 mean minus median by standard deviation. So mean and standard deviation you know how to calculate. Only thing, you have to find out the median, substitute, and again you will be getting the answer in the same between minus 1 to plus 1. Write down the conclusion. So try finding out this particular question. The final answer for this question I'll be telling you, that is minus 0.75. Okay, so it is negatively skewed. So this is how you can calculate the Karl Pearson coefficient of skewness. Very easy 10 marker question. All the formulas and all the steps are very compulsory. Please try to write that, right? So pause the video, make a note of it.